Sukuna is anti of Yuji and the secret behind Sukuna flames and also Yuji's shrine potential, everything in this video. Before starting, subscribe to make the editor do 500 push-ups and bring some popcorn and let's enjoy together this chaos. Okay, like we all know, the last chapter ended with 8 black flash punches from Yuji to Sukuna. This chapter begins with the narrator explaining that after hitting 2 black flashes, Gojo constructed a special RCT circuit due to being in an awakened state. Also, Sukuna, after supposed to regenerate all of his arms, couldn't regain his RCT output due to Yuji's 7 black flashes. Sukuna instantly uses domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine. This domain looks amazing, but later in the chapter, we'll know it's incomplete. In my view, it's more than just incomplete. It's the first time we see Sukuna doing his domain expansion in his original form. The author will probably explain this in upcoming chapters, as I think this is the last arc before Jujutsu Kaisen ends. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Backing to the chapter, despite including certain elements and binding vows, Ryamen Sukuna has replicated Malevolent Shrine without dropping its effective range or output. After experiencing the Black Flash, we get a flashback of the boys in a 1-month time skip. Hikari says it's important to learn RCT countermeasures for this fight, and Choso replies that it's about RCT. He and Yuji can manage this somehow. Yuji wonders how, and Choso asks the RCT users how they compensate for the blood when they regenerate their bodies. Hikari and Yuta couldn't answer, but Shoko says it converts C to blood. Choso's body allows him to convert his C into blood. If Yuji consumes his remaining brothers, he gains their CT properties, so he can convert cursed energy to blood. Choso asks Yuji to be paired with someone who can use RCT for the body swapping training. Yuji is confused, and UI reveals that with the help of his CT, he can even swap souls between human beings, with a limit. The name of his technique isn't mentioned yet, but it's amazing to learn more about his abilities and powers. Backing to the chapter, Kuzukabe says since Sukuna took over Yuji's body, he uses his CT. Yuji's body now remembers jujutsu of a special grade, so they plan to do the same for soul swapping training. Kuzukabe will first swap with Yuji's soul and teach basic C manipulation and simple domain to Yuji's body. UI says he can only swap twice in 1 month. Yuji uses new shadow-style simple domain against Sukuna's domain and notices it's incomplete, with some loopholes. The narrator reveals Sukuna can't maintain this high level of domain for a long time and also cannot capture Maki, who has no C, within his domain. The chapter ends with Sukuna bringing out the flames, revealing the technique's name: Kitchen Heart. This chapter had a lot of surprising events and secrets, and I'm waiting for the next chapter eagerly. When the chapter leaks or anything about the next chapter comes out, I'll do a video, so hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Despite the puzzling complexities, there's a human element that remains at the heart of it all, prompting the need for a more empathetic exploration. Let's delve into the remarkable abilities of UI with a lens of compassion and understanding. Consider the profound impact of his teleportation and body-swapping powers, not just as mere mechanics, but as deeply intertwined with the essence of human connection. When UI facilitates the exchange of souls between 2 individuals, it's not just a manipulation of supernatural forces, but a profound interaction that bridges the gap between souls, transcending physical barriers. In doing so, UI addresses fundamental existential questions, such as the nature of identity and the bonds that connect us. This theme echoes the poignant conversations between Kenjaku and Mahito in Shibuya, where they grapple with the profound implications of one's curse technique on their perception of the world. UI's departure from conventional norms and practices for individuality and autonomy, even in a world governed by supernatural laws. Furthermore, the imposition of limits on his abilities speaks to the innate sense of responsibility and ethical considerations that guide human actions. Through UI's journey, we witness the complexities of human nature mirrored in his abilities, as he navigates the delicate balance between power and compassion. Thus, by embracing the human dimension of UI's story, we gain deeper insights into the characters and the rich tapestry of emotions that drive their actions. Secondly, let's delve into why Sukuna's domain is incomplete. As we mentioned earlier, Yuji utilizes his domain to counter Shuna's malevolent shrine. In the process, Yuji notices that Sukuna's domain is incomplete. The main question arises, why is it incomplete? Firstly, if you refer to the TCB Scans version, you will discover that the malevolent shrine Sukuna unleashed was a closed barrier type, which is commonly found in most curses. However, if you read the Viz version or Kaisen backup translation, it indicates that Sukuna unleashed an open barrier type, similar to what he did in Shibuya. This is correct for several reasons. Firstly, we don't see a closed shell surrounding the landscape, and the damages are affecting the real world, not just the user's materialized environment. Secondly, the narrator mentions that the range of Sukuna's domain is the same as the one displayed in Shibuya. This couldn't be a closed barrier because the range would be smaller in that case. The purpose of an open barrier is to provide an escape route for the opponent, but the trade-off is increasing the size of your own domain. This aligns with what Sukuna did previously in Shibuya. Another reason is that Maki wouldn't automatically be trapped in a closed barrier because her heavenly restrictions give her the opportunity to decide whether she enters the domain barrier or stays out of it. However, if it's an open shell with no barrier like Sukuna's, then Maki doesn't have that choice anymore. This is evident in this chapter as Maki is automatically pulled into Sukuna's domain. Therefore, it has to be an open barrier type. Regarding Maki's safety, she will be fine because she has no curse energy, making her immune or invincible to attacks. However, Malevolent Shrine is special and targets anything, with or without curse energy, so Maki is not an exception to its effects. Anyway, I believe Sukuna is currently the strongest because despite all the damage he sustained from fighting Gojo and losing his 2 arms, he's still able to defeat special grade and level 1 curses. That's quite impressive. But when Gojo returns, which is inevitable because he won't end up like that, I guarantee he will come back as soon as possible. We'll learn more about this with further details in the upcoming chapters. Yuji's potential with the shrine is intriguing, as Sukuna himself mentioned that curse techniques can evolve over time, or with different users. This suggests that Yuji might acquire more abilities than Sukuna due to potentially having access to more modern techniques. Considering Sukuna's age of over 1,000 years, it's conceivable that Yuji could tap into evolved tools or techniques that have emerged over time. For instance, he might be able to manifest flames akin to Sukuna's furnace, but in a more contemporary form, such as a stove or microwave. As for the next chapter, it's possible that Yuji's exploration of his newfound potential could lead to unexpected developments or encounters. What are your thoughts on this interpretation?